This is obviously Sheets, and I'm going to be going solo today. And I'm trying to figure out, honestly, the best way to do these early looks when I'm doing it myself. I know that Bobby likes to go through, game by game, and I toy with all different different methods of dealing with this. Because again, obviously, it's not like we really don't know who's playing yet, among other things. Customization, subscribers. Good. I thought about the possibility of just going over my lineups from last night, but every time I think of doing that, I'm trying to think of from a user perspective if it's really, if I would really want to see that, like someone else going over their lineups from last night, because I already read through the process yesterday of how they were built, and I just feel as though everything's going to be really results oriented if we just go through it after the fact. I mean, I happen to have cashed in the Monster on FanDuel. I could go over that, but I just think it's more important to just go forward and just kind of get an early look at the slate and I guess who looks good, and do a couple of lineup builds, something like that. I guess that makes some sense. Let's share my screen and I'll show you the things that I'm going to be working with today. So here's a SaberSim, set up here with the projections already kind of preloaded in here. The other thing that I'm going to put up, I may as well put up the my sheets, which usually only for premium members, but I'm going to display them here as well, and to give you a sense of what the slate could look like. Because again, there's a lot of back-to-backs. There's a lot of guys that can be out. So I guess that is something that's worth doing, is going through and seeing who could be out, something to look at. But we're going to go through kind of, I guess, a lineup building process as well. So I don't know. We'll play this by ear. I know we'll learn something at least from this. One thing we're going to learn is that it's a unique setup as far as the slate goes, because there are 8 games, but they're separating them into 2 slates. They have a 6-game slate which starts at 7 o'clock, and then they're running a separate 2-game slate. And there's a certain degree of wisdom for that, for these late games. The idea, I think, is interesting. The idea is that when you have a whole bunch of games, then there's one island game all the way at the end of the night. Nobody wants to really wait around for that game. So just take it off the main slate. And if people want action, they could maybe make a big showdown slate out of that. So what they did for tonight is something similar, I guess, is they chopped the last 2 games off the slate, the island games, and turned it into kind of a bigger guaranteed 2-game slate. Now, again, it's not perfect today, but I think that the idea is well-intentioned, and I'm curious to see how it develops. So we're going to go through, I guess, just the main slate for now. Just a couple of announcements, though. I am going to be doing a live sweat tonight, and I think I'm going to do it at 11. And that is going to miss the end of the first night, the first slate, if I do that. But I want to catch that last quarter of the NFL. So what I could do, maybe I can go on at 10, because 10 o'clock is actually pretty dramatic, because that'll catch the end of this slate. And then if we're still live, we'll do the 11. So yeah, let's do that. Let's do the 10 o'clock. I'm going to change the live sweat to 10 tonight, because this slate is going to be wrapping up. And you have 4 games that could decide the slate. So we'll get the last 15 minutes to like 20 minutes of that first slate, and then we'll sweat the end of that, hopefully the end of the football. So let's take a look really quickly. I mean, we have Utah against Detroit. I don't see anybody particularly questionable. I mean, Killian Hayes, I guess, but I don't know how he's probable, so that doesn't really matter. You have New Orleans and Cleveland, so you have Garland remaining out. All right, so Mitchell was out yesterday, which opened up what's his name, Craig Porter Jr. By the way, he only played 25 minutes. But he, obviously he did well enough. I did not do well in the 888 last night. So I don't know how Bobby did. I'm sure I would have heard it if he did well. So yeah, so if Donovan Mitchell is out again, then Craig Porter Jr. is going to show up as a very, very strong play again. That's just the way it's going to be. They are pricing him up to 4,700, but aside from that, I mean, we just have to wait to see, like, if Mitchell is out or not. And then New Orleans, you always have, these bigs. You have Zion questionable, Valanciunas questionable as well. So I mean, we're just gonna have to see. Oh yeah, Merrill was a freaking genius. I mean, but if Zion and Valanciunas are out, then Cody Zeller looks great, but he himself is questionable due to a sprained ankle. And I kind of don't want to hear it. Zeller was playing into the fourth quarter. I mean, he played his normal fourth quarter run last night. They pulled him off with like 3 minutes to go because they wanted to get Valanciunas back in there. Where on earth could he have gotten a sprained ankle? I can't even imagine. So anyway, we have to just kind of take a look at that. And we're going to get back to the sheets in a minute. Indiana, Memphis, what a matchup, huh? Morant against Halliburton. That'll be fun. Doesn't look like anybody of consequences out there. That's going to be a crazy game. Clippers, OKC. So you had Paul George out and then opened up Kawhi, who had a nice game. But we're going to take a look at Paul George. Oh, he was out for Wednesday. We don't know about today yet. We'll be on top of that. OKC looks like nothing injury-wise to worry about. San Antonio, Chicago. I presume Wemby's back. Yeah, he's back to play. Keldon Johnson with a questionable tag. He's probable as well. This is like really annoying. I presume Vassell is going to be Vassell. Questionable. I mean, the good thing is, like I said, these games are all pretty close, so we'll probably have all this. You have DeRozan. Everybody looks like they're in for Chicago. You have Giannis, who is questionable, right mid-strain. Okay, well, obviously, if he's out, then the slate becomes very different. So we'll take a look at that as we get down to it. Jalen Suggs, questionable. And this is just kind of what the NBA is. Now, fortunately, all these games are kind of close, and we'll probably have all this. So you only have to work for an hour. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be there at 6:30 and probably hang out till 7:50 to really do the slate. Okay. And then if you want to participate in the late slate, we'll deal with that later on. I mean, I will probably put projections up there. I'm definitely playing it, by the way. But yeah. So let's take a look then at the sheets. Now again, this presumes that all these people are playing. So it's kind of weird, but we're going to try it anyway. So let's do what we did not last season, but last season and early this season, as far as ranking these guys go. But as you know, as you've seen, the NBA has become just a value wasteland. I mean, it's been very, very difficult to find value on these slates unless stuff kind of opens up later on in the day. So what ends up happening is that all these high-priced guys become very difficult to play. It's just the way it is. And you'll see guys like Bojan Bogdanovic, you look at the ownership projections, all these guys that are kind of like fishy $50, $400 plays are all projected really, really high owned because you just have to play somebody, Yeah, and Jolly, that's the thing that's kind of doesn't make the DFS product that great. If they're going to keep pricing this tight, no one's going to be able to play like the best players in the league. And I don't think that's what DFS wants. I don't think that's what DraftKings wants. So we'll see. But for example, if we rate these guys just by point per dollar, I mean, it's very rare, but I mean, there's nobody rated over 6x. But the guys that are rated over 6x are pretty high priced. So these guys are really good plays. Like Vooch, very strong play. Ja, very strong play. Giannis, very strong play. If in fact he plays, obviously. You're not even getting those cheapos at all, you know. And when you rate them here by Sheets value score, you know, usually you get a couple of guys up here that are under 6K, but you're getting nothing, you know. The top rated guy, I mean, I guess we would want to say Vucevic is the lowest priced, you know, highly projected guy, either him or maybe Wembanyama. Okay. And Ja. So Ja, Wembanyama, and Vooch, I guess, would be the best combination of a point per dollar and value score upside. Then there's Jaren Jackson Jr. at 7,900. Then you have Chet Holmgren at 7,400. I guess another thing to probably look at is the way this breaks down by positions. Because what's unique here, I think, about this slate is the fact that it's not a center dominated slate. You know, usually we have like 9 centers that represent, you know, 9 of the top 10 values. But here, with the exception of Vooch, you only have, well, I don't consider really Giannis a center, but I mean the center only plays. You have a Holmgren, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Valanciunas, but they're rated down a little bit. So it is a little bit of a different type of slate as far as that goes. Might as well take a look at stacking, I guess. So Utah and Detroit. Well, let's take a look at timing. So the first game of the night is Utah against Detroit. So I guess while we're waiting for all this other news, that's going to be a decision of what to do, if anything, with that game. You know, all else being equal, you know, unless you had to play someone from this game, you probably should fade it. So that's the first thing I'd want to do is look at that game. So Utah, Detroit. The only guy that's, well, there are a couple guys showing up. So Bojan at 6,700. Some of these Utah guys, Colin Sexton, Taylor Horton Tucker. Oh, there's Cade Cunningham. Yeah, so so unfortunately you are going to have to deal with this. You can't just X this game out. So Cade Cunningham looks good. Bojan looks good. Colin Sexton, Taylor Horton Tucker, even Larry Markkinen. So, and that's what you have to think about also is you know, where you want to focus your energies. So, like, for example, if you wanted to play something like Cunningham and what price is Bogdanovich him? You play a Utah guy. Who did I say my favorite was? Sexton and Tucker. So we put Sexton, looks like a good play, or you could put Markkinen in. Problem there is that you're going to get 90, 4,500 a man. You have to find other value. But you could start with this. You could start off your day with something like this. Bless me. Problem is that, you know, there could be news coming out later that's going to make you wish that you had more open spots. So this is the Detroit, the one game they can win theory. That it's finally like a pick'em spread. And if they're going to win, it's going to be this one. Yeah, you know what? I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. You know, just to play the top minutes projectors. And here's one thing you could do, by the way. Very few people actually look at this. I don't really do it as much as I should, but I do have a minutes column over here. So in a situation like that where you just think they're going for the win, you could just play the Detroit guys that just rate to play the most minutes because they probably even have upside from that, especially in a close game. But it looks like just these two guys, like Bojan and Cade. I think I like it. I think Jolly. I think that's a good take. That it's a. I presume that's the take, right? I mean, they have 20 losses in a row. 20 losses in a row, and they're only I think a 2-point underdog at most. So yeah, I think they're going to be going for this as well. All right, New Orleans and Cleveland's. I alluded to this earlier. I mean, the slate starts with the determination of whether Donovan Mitchell is going to play. I mean, if he's in, then I think, well, first of all, I think he becomes a very, very good player. Well, is he a good play? I don't know. I mean, it's 10-3, so as I mentioned, 10-3 is kind of tough to do in general, but where is my... I don't even think I have him projected right now. Oh, no, I do have him projected. So this doesn't look bad. I mean, he's 4% owned. Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, he took the day off for his injury or his illness or whatever. He'll come back. Yeah, I don't mind that. But again, you got to make sure he's playing, obviously. And if he's out, then we'll go back to those guys, the Porter, I suppose. Now they didn't close, by the way. Something to keep in mind. And the other guy, the hero from last night, the Sam Merrill. I mean, if Sam Merrill, 4,500, he might even be a good play regardless of whether Donovan Mitchell plays. Why do I not have him projected very well? This is very odd. I mean, he's got to look good, right? So 16 fantasy points. That's all we're gonna. What's all? What's the guy got to do? Yeah, I'm gonna have to take another look at that. I am not a believer in that projection. Let me just see something. It's pretty funny. I mean, yeah, he's just a pure shooter, but still, I mean, you gotta give the guys a break, right? You can't project him for that level. But everybody's on the same thing: 17, 14, 16, 17. No respect. So yeah, if Mitchell's out, you'll fire that up. I guess you got to fire that up again. Who else is going to be back? That's going to get in the way of Merrill. Is Clarkson back or something? No, he's not even on that team, right? Very, very odd that he wouldn't project better. So you mentioned Tristan Thompson, Project Mayhem. Yeah. He will do that from time to time. He will do very, very well in limited minutes. And yes, if he gets 18 minutes again, him at 3,800 is going to look pretty decent, to say the least. I'm not convinced that on a back-to-back, he's the greatest candidate for this. But yeah, I mean, we'll just watch the ownership or whatever it is, Yeah, Porter looks good as a player in general. But I mean, the fact is that if Mitchell's playing, I mean, Porter. Listen, first of all, they didn't close with him. He didn't see much of the court at all in the fourth quarter, despite the fact that he was playing well. So I don't know exactly what that was all about. Do you want to know the truth? In any case, if Mitchell's out, we'll play it, and he's starting, we'll play him again. But I think if Mitchell's in, I think I'm going to take a pass. New Orleans, I mean, it's just ridiculous to even speculate until all these guys have been resolved. I mean, we could say that, two of them are out. We'll play Cody Zeller, you know what I mean, or whatever. All three of them are out. We might even play Jerome Robinson Earl. And And if they're all in, maybe we play nothing. It's just hard to say. See if anybody looks good here. As is, I mean, as is, there's not, not too much. Except for Valanciunas, who always looks pretty good. But Valanciunas on a back-to-back has never been the greatest. Anyway, this is definitely a news-driven game. All right, so let's see. Indianapolis, Indiana, Memphis. That could definitely be a hoot. Let's just put it this way. So Morant is coming off of that just remarkable comeback game, and Tyrese Halliburton just smashes like every day. But he's 10-8. So I mean, what do you do? Well, first of all, let's take a look at this. Yeah, he had 57 fantasy points, 35 minutes, 10 for 12, and pretty much all these were in the fourth quarter. It was just crazy. My instinct is that, he gets a huge standing ovation, and they're going nuts for him in Memphis, and then he probably busts. I mean, that's my again. That's just my whatchamacallit, my very what's the word I'm looking for? Contrarian, jaded view of what could happen. But he's definitely very affordable. He's against a team that it's the Harlem Globetrotters. I can't imagine a better player to take advantage of that than a guy who gets out in the space like he does. So yeah, I have no issues with that. What about the anybody looking on the Pacers? Besides Halliburton, I guess when we run our sims, and we'll do that at the end of this, I guess we'll end up with all these Bruce Brown plays again. I don't know. They did very well yesterday, by the way. I'm not really seeing them right here. Miles Turner might be back. I think he might have played yesterday actually as well. Anyway, yeah, I think Morant's a good play. I don't think I would get to anybody else, but maybe we'll surprise ourselves. OKC, LAC. Again, this is going to depend. The LAC side is going to depend on the health of these main guys. Boy, DraftKings, they are no joke, man. James Harden, he was 7,600 pretty recently. They're like, and they're saying, DraftKings saying, nope, not anymore. Kawhi Leonard, it seemed was 8K yesterday. Maybe it wasn't yesterday, but he was 8K last week. Not anymore. It's rough out there. It's rough in pricing land. But at 9,200, he looks like a really good play. Is he as good of a play as Morant, though? There's just no way. If, in fact, these other guys are in. So, yeah. We'll just have to see if these guys are in. If they're all in, I probably will end up not playing them, any of them. But if Paul George remains out, then can you play Kawhi at 9-2? We'll see. I definitely won't go anywhere else. I presume that since Powell had a good game, they priced him up to like 7K now. I'm just guessing. Let's see. No, he's only 6K. The thing about Powell is really interesting. Like, even when he has a great game or it feels like he's having a great game, he doesn't score that many fantasy points. I mean, when he has a great game here, he'll have 30. Yeah, I agree. I think if Paul George plays, he looks good as well. But I don't know if, again, with everybody healthy, what kind of usage he's going to really have. We'll see. All right, OKC side, I already mentioned Holmgren as a decent play over there, and I think I saw a couple of others. I guess not really. I guess just him. No, I guess Shea at 10 too. I mean, he's another guy. I mean, why Why would I think he's not a good play? I mean, you'd think that it's a tough matchup between Kawhi and Paul George, trying to shut him down a little bit. But I don't know, man. The guy can fill it. The guy can hoop, so to speak. So is he that much worse of a play than Ja? Maybe. But he definitely, listen, between him and Holmgren, I think this is where you're going to get your exposure. I don't think that you're going to get to any of these Isaiah Joes, but again, just when I think that, I mean, you see like Jalen Williams down here. He's 6,400. He projects like 4.6x. I see 33% ownership. You know, Josh Giddey, 6,100, barely 4.5x at 25% ownership. Is that going to be just the case every night? I mean, you go back to here, $5,200 Vince Williams, who I just kind of said I didn't like anybody from Memphis, but the idea is that who are you going to play? And you're going to have to get to this price range, and that's why he looks like he's 30% on. Very, very strange comings and goings in the NBA. Like what they say in the movie, strange things are afoot at the Circle K. All right, let's move on. All right, this game is going to be obviously pretty interesting. So let's clear the decks here, and let's make a couple of good plays here. I already mentioned two of them. Vooch 8,100 and Wembanyama at 9K. I think these two guys look really good. I'm not too big of a fan of playing DeRozan on this back-to-back. He had a very, very nice game yesterday. I know he's playing San Antonio and all that. This whole Chicago team's on a back-to-back. So I think you could start there. Let me just look at these projections again. Wembanyama looks really, really good. Vooch, as I already mentioned. Vooch is already mentioned. Kobe White. Can I really play Kobe White at 8,300? Boy, oh boy. I don't know. Is it going to be another Jeremy Sohan experience at 26% ownership? I mean, he was good in his last game, but he's had some ceiling issues. Keldon Johnson, that's not bad, I guess. Vassell, 7K. Boy, oh boy. That's tough. I really should cut right to the Saberson builds because I wouldn't know how to do this by hand. Orlando, Milwaukee. All right, you know you might want to go back to. I don't know how many minutes this guy played, but he played 23 minutes. I would go back to him on this back-to-back. I mean, he hadn't played for a while. I think there's no reason for him to not be ready to play this. I don't know exactly why he only played 23 minutes, but nonetheless, I think I would go right back to him. Aside from that, we're clearly waiting on Milwaukee news, and everything else I said from the earlier games probably doesn't mean anything if Giannis is out. Because if Giannis is out, then all this other value happens. I think if Giannis is in, you know, same analysis as always with guys like this. I mean, he's a great projection, and it's going to be difficult to get to. You know, so if you want to play him, great. You just get very uncomfortable with the rest of your lineups. So if you want, you could do, instead of Wembanyama and Vooch, you could play, you know, Giannis and Wendell Carter Jr., for example. And you might be able to even add another Orlando guy in there, such as, let's see, Banchero. I don't think I would play him, though, because I think they'd be fighting for each other's rebounds. So maybe just these two. And again, anybody else in Milwaukee I'm not going to have unless Giannis is out. So listen, I don't want to make this all about like doom and gloom. I mean, you could play some guys, but it's just hard to get in, you know, the guys you really want to play. If that makes any sense. Let's pull up SaberSim again. We already uploaded our projections in here, and let's see what this looks like. Let's build 50 lineups. Well, let's just make sure we have the right things here. Upload. Let's make sure I have what I'm supposed to have here. Let's put that in there as well. All right, so this all looks good. Let's build 50 lineups, I suppose, and let's predict what we're gonna have. I think what we're gonna end up having, it's just the way it's been the last several weeks. It's just a bunch of these $5,500 guys that I said didn't look good. That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be Sohans and Jalen Williamsons and all these 4.5x rated 5K guys. I think are going to dominate the lineups. And then after we do this, we're going to look at these in a couple of different ways. We'll look at them in terms of just raw points. We'll look at Saber score. We'll look at the contest sims, and we'll see the differences. I guess that to me is interesting. So. Let's see. And then we'll run a FanDuel one as well, just for funsies. Look at these totals, 240. Well, you know, Memphis is a pretty good defensive team. That's not as big a deal. All right, so let's first take a look at, well, let's cheat. Let's go straight to just raw points. Like if we were going to look at these lineups just by raw points, you'll see that the highest owned players, you'd have 100% Vince Williams, 95% Wendell Carter Jr., 80% Jeremy Sohan, and so on and so on. Like all these $5,500 guys, as I suggested. So what's going to be interesting to me is how this changes when I change the ranking system here. Like, for example, let's change this to Saber score. It's I guess a medium, well, is it a medium size slate or a small? Let's call it a large size slate. It'll be 10K to 50K players. And we want to rate this by Saber score. So now when we do this, you'll know that there's not that much of a difference of the exposures. You're not getting 100% Vince Williams, but you're still getting 94. So this is what you're going to look. This is what your lineup builds are going to look like. Now, what I want to do is I want to do a contest sim. So there's a couple of ways to do that. Let's put contest. Let's do it this way. Put contests here. Let's look at all contests, and we'll save this data here. So if the power dunk, which is the big buy, we'll right-click and put save contest sim. It's inputted the contest size, number, percentage first, percentage of entries paid, etc. And we'll do the fade as well. Okay. So now what we'll do is we'll run a contest sim where we do, and it's really cool that it can do it at the same time. The different contests. Let's make sure they're checked. Power dunk and fadeaway. See that thing light up, and we'll hit run contest sim. And it's going to build. Oh, good. Thank you, Jolly. Giannis is probable. So you know what that means? It means the slate remains very, very difficult. This is fine. See, I don't mind playing lineups that look like this. And you see what happens, right, Jolly? I mean, you guys get Embiid like totally smashing and not even being in the optimals. I mean, I had a lineup with Embiid and Jokic in it last night, you know, but it's not good enough. Okay, so let's see what it looks like. We hit run contest sim, and now we're going to rate these by, well, we're going to do this for each contest. So let's look at the lottery. That's the most interesting. And we'll sort by risk-adjusted ROI and see if there's any legitimate difference between any of the other constructs that we've had here. And it's not a lot. You know, you have 100% Wendell Carter, 90% Vince Williams. And the thing is, and this is what the NBA is. You know, the NBA is a very chalky sport. These players can be projected very, very reasonably. And so it doesn't matter what you do. You're going to get these types of constructions. Now, you could do stuff like min uniques. We can make this a little more. So now each lineup has a min unique, has 3 different players from the other ones. You're still getting all the Wendell Carter. You're still getting Sohan. You're still getting Vince Williams, whatever, but it spreads everything out a little bit. Okay. Let's say before I forget, let's save all this to my contests here. You feel like not playing the big dollar guys. Okay, it's not a question of feeling like if the slate opens up that possibility, then you can obviously do it. But so let's save all these for now, just so I have it. But what you should do again is you should make sure that you first of all, I want to add the contest sims for the other contests I'm playing. I guess just show you my process. I may as well just finish this off. Then we'll do FanDuel. So let's rerun the contest sims because I forgot to add to put the fadeaway. Excuse me, the mid-range jumper and the power dunk. So let's do that, and then we'll do the same thing for FanDuel. See if there's any difference. Now FanDuel, their offerings today were very, very sparse. I don't know what FanDuel was doing today. They're making the bigger buy-ins, less or something. Maybe it sold out early. I really doubt that though. Yeah, it does look like that, Jolly, right? All right, so let's put in power dunk. Finish that one. We'll enter this right in here. So power dunk. Oh, really? Project Mayhem? Well, it's funny. If you search for videos, I did a follow-up on that, by the way. I did another video with that guy a couple of weeks ago. And it didn't really address the increase in the Solana. But that's pretty funny that was important that you noticed that. Mid-range jumper we'll put there. And then we'll put the splash. Where's the splash? But somewhere, right? We can do the splash. Oh, we got to deal with that later. We'll put it in. Put the splash in here. So let's just save these. Yeah, I guess so, man. It's pretty funny. Yeah, the problem, Project Mayhem. So check this out. This it's not legal in my state, I believe. Let's see. Maybe it is. I don't think so. I don't think it's legal in my state. Can I do this? Maybe it is. Oh, there it is. It says Pick 6 is unavailable in your location. So why put this up here? I guess it's kind of clever to put it up here. But what's neat about the Pick 6 also is that here is that you're competing against other people also. So your odds depend on what other people play. So you could, basically you're supposed to be playing nothing but unders and underdogs and stuff like that. I wish it was here. Then I'd have to figure it out, but it's not. So I wonder if it's in California. If Bobby wants to look at it. Yeah, so I really haven't taken a look at this yet. All right, just quickly, I guess we'll do FanDuel. No, I can't sell the horses, Project Mayhem. I got screwed. I didn't realize what had happened, but I didn't race it for a while, and my horse retired. He retired of old age. It didn't tell me that there was an acceleration, that you had to race these things like so quickly, otherwise you'd run out of a shelf life. But I have to follow up with him because he wants me to buy another one. But now, can I buy another one? I can't buy another one anymore, Project Mayhem, right? Because Solana's up fourfold. So now I can't. I guess that's not the way you should look at it, though. All right, so let's look at FanDuel, and we'll just skip right to the if you would mind, we'll just skip right to the lineup builds. And what I'm looking for here, again, we're not doing this for no reason. What I'm looking for is to see what the difference is between the FanDuel builds and the DraftKings builds. No, I'll show you. It's like worse. Hold on. It's hold on a minute. It's hold on. Pretty funny. Here it is. Ready? All right. So here's my thing. So where's my stable? Oh wait, I gotta log in. Oh, you know this whatchamacallit, this two-factor authentication thing is going to drive me to the lunatic asylum. That's just for this one. So. Okay, photos for this. All right, continue. Fine. So where's my stable? So you ready for my stable? Here it is. Cookies Are Yummy is stunning. I guess. I didn't even call for this, but he's stunning. 10 years old. It's not 10. It's 10 years old in Photo Finish Live speak. Brutal. And this one, retired. I never raced him. But I have 1.17K derbies, 342 crowns. Anyway, we'll deal with this another day. But let's take a look at FanDuel. All right, so when we'll look at it again from all the different ways. We'll look at it from first from just raw points. Raw points, you're going to get 100% DeMar DeRozan of all things, and 90% Taylor Horton Tucker, and I don't think any Wendell Carter Jr. Let's see. Yeah, well, it helps that I don't have Wendell Carter Jr. projected. I have him as a 0. You want to know why? I know why. So brutal. The projection game is tough when I'm trying to use some different sources, because one place probably has him listed as Wendell Carter, and the other one has him listed as Wendell Carter Jr. It's rough out there. But you know what? They think they're going to get the best of me. No, they're not going to get the best of me. What we are going to do, we're going to do another build. I just want to get all the players in rather than getting the projections right. We'll get the projections right a little bit later. Yeah, if you're not careful, if you're following the true DFS projections, you'll end up getting 0 Wendell Carter Jr., 0 Derek Jones Jr. So I have to remember to always unclick the junior parts. Just for FanDuel. DraftKings, they like the juniors. FanDuel, they don't like it. Yeah, MMA not till January 12th, 13th, something like that. I don't know if you followed it. That was crazy, that last card. We hit like 5 big underdogs in a row, just kind of like totally randomly. Pretty funny. All right, let's take a look. Look at projection. For a projected score, we'd be getting, we still wouldn't be getting any Wendell Carter Jr. Serves me right for questioning the system. Well, we just be getting 2% of him, and that's a really big deal. You know, that's the difference in the pricing structure between DraftKings and FanDuel. DraftKings, you can get guys in. FanDuel, you just can't. I mean, DraftKings, you just can't. So here you're getting almost 100% DeMar DeRozan, which is kind of interesting. Oh, cool, Jolly. Let's go Sabre score. Look at it by Sabre score. No real difference. DeRozan, Horton Tucker, Vince Williams, Alex Caruso. Let's again go to contests. All contests. We're just going to play the shot today, which is the MME. And again, just to show you what the difference might be between the Saber score build and the contest sim build. Contest sim settings. Here. Run it. And just so you know, I'm going to be doing a video a little bit later for football and for also for hockey. And then we're going to go live with Bobby a little later, I guess, for both sports. I hope to be there for the live part. I can't promise, though. All right, so let's take a look and see for the shot. Yeah, all right, a little less DeRozan, but again, overall, same types of guys. But that's one thing that's interesting is that DeRozan, much better play over on FanDuel. Let's again change this to Min Uniques 3. And we're gonna save this to my you know, it's funny, I don't even think I could do prize picks anymore in New York. Tomlin has, okay, interesting. Tomlin has Rudolph starting. Okay. So let me download these. And again, I've gotten really good at this just from doing it, using the Saber Sim entry editor. Let's put all these in. Ooh, I didn't do a contest sim for the slam, but that's fine. We'll save these for now. We'll put these in. I think we did it. Let's see. We have to. This one, right? And we do that same thing, you know, several times a night. You know, once just before lock, once, you know, at each stage of the late swap process as well. Also, just so you know, I'm going to play the 2-game slate, and I'm going to play in the NBA that starts at 9 o'clock. I'll put separate projections up there. I'm not going to be able to do that, I think, until the first slate locks. And then Showdown, I'm going to play that. And I'm probably going to play that last Portland Wizards Showdown slate. For no other reason than to have something going on when the live sweat happens. Okay, that will do it. Hope you guys enjoyed that, or at least weren't bored too much. And we will do football and hockey a little bit later. Maybe I should go live with. No, you know, people would start expecting it, and I don't know, people just pile in there. So I'm just going to make the recording this way people can watch it at their leisure. That'll do it.